Well, hey, it's Ford Waterstrat from Sustainable Harvest Farm. I am in our biggest greenhouse. It is still pretty empty, but kind of, I'd say once middle of February hits, well, I guess in another week, it'll be a lot more full. But right now, I'll show you here in just a second some tomato plants and lettuce and kale and onions. This is where it all happens. So in order for these tomato plants, these little guys, we started these the first week of February. Then they go into trays like these. So there's 50 tomato plants in kind of each one of these little trays. But from the first week of February, it will take all the way until middle of June before these tomatoes are ready. And we will actually plant these in a covered structure in the dirt. So they'll be, tomatoes just like out in the field, but in a covered structure to get the early tomatoes to you. Here, probably by this afternoon, some of these little, these are broccoli that Morgan and Nathan seeded on, I think, Thursday this last week, but they will just start poking up. We got more broccoli and cabbages over here, broccoli and cabbage. We got the first of the onions coming up. So these two varieties right here are just small kind of bunch onions. They'll be ready, middle of June or so. But these guys over here, these are your big bulb onions, like the big purple and big yellow onions and white onions that we have in the CSA. So these won't actually be ready until probably August, and we started them in February. So these are it takes a long time. So from February until August before we're able to harvest and distribute these. Each one of these little trays has 200 holes in it, and in each cell for the onions we have 3 seeds in there. So one tray has 600 seeds in it, and each one of these big tables here I believe has 65 trays if I remember correctly. So I mean, you could see, so we're saying, what do we say, 600 seeds times 65 trays. That's a lot of seeds and a lot of onions. It's pretty cool how much food you can produce in a small space. And these are our early lettuces. So we got that looks like a red leaf lettuce, another red leaf lettuce. That's probably a romaine, and there should be some green leaf lettuce in here as well. But so this is where it all starts. And being an organic farm, I can't tell if you can see me in this video or not, but one other cool things that we do is we cut and split all of our own firewood and use this big wood boiler thing. So there's a big water tank inside of this burner here. The water gets heated up to 180 degrees, and then those little fans right there, the hot water circulates through that, and there's a fan that blows across that, so it heats up this entire greenhouse. And this is a 30 by 100 greenhouse. So pretty cool, pretty neat way to heat our own greenhouse. Also, we've got our box truck, well, 2 box trucks. One of them runs off natural gas, and we also have a semi truck that runs off natural gas that we produce here on the farm. I wouldn't say we produce it, but we're fortunate to have. This is the Waterstrat's cute little house. Took about 2 years to build that. Part of it caught on fire right after the twins are born. And then our solar panels. So we were able to produce all the electricity that we needed for the farm production stuff last year. So pretty cool, very thankful for that. Here's our wonderful guard dog, Bear. This is kind of the packing shed. We got 3 walk-in coolers in this barn. There's a big walk-in cooler here. I think this is like 40 by 30 or something like that, walk-in cooler with various projects going on in here. But this is where all the vegetables come in and get washed, but kind of right now we have different things in various stages of repair. It's like tractor number 5 or 6 that we worked on this winter. And that is our natural gas powered semi truck, and then the guy's house right over there. That was a long project, but want to provide great housing for our guys. Semi trailer for storage, and then we've got, these are high tunnels where we will put the early tomato plants. Kids have been working on pulling out the old tomato plants from last year. You can kind of see some dead ones in there. Truly beautiful day. Probably not supposed to flip the camera like that. And our assortment of farm vehicles. Random equipment kind of stashed everywhere. But yeah, okay, we got that. Our propane kind of is a backup for the heat. And then this is a place where all the tractors are stored. This is an interesting project we're undertaking this winter, is to convert this crop sprayer into something we can straddle rows of crops and mow the cover crop between the rows of crops. Something else we're working on, this is a going to be a 3-row fertilizer dropper for our rows of plastic, and it's also going to mark a rows out for us. Miscellaneous old tractors. Thanks to Uncle Jimmy for always keeping us going, but we got some big tractors back here that I love to drive. Might as well go ahead and show you. These are 2 International 5088s, like 150 horsepower each, but they're both the same age as I am, 42 years old. We started out with one, and we're always worried about it breaking down, so we bought another 42-year-old tractor. Well, anyways, thanks for letting us be your farmers. Have a great day.